9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Monday, folks. Happy Monday. Happy day after Mania. I hope y'all are doing well. TK Trinidad here after a long week in Vegas. I am still tired, y'all, but we can get in. There's so much to talk about. Shout out to the whole team, Cedric and Christina in Vegas, doing a lot of things for Pizza Delivery Driver Appreciation Day. Doing a lot of things for WWT and enjoying the show. I was there the whole week assisting Mark Henry, so I have stories to tell about that. But before we get into all of that, let us know where you're hailing from, what city, what state, all of that good stuff. And our super chats are open. So what that means is that for $2 or more, you can ask me about stories that I may or may not tell. Actually, it has that. Ask me about stories that I could tell for a super chat that I probably wasn't going to tell. And then also, I don't know. Shout out to WWE and all. And I know everybody has to get their money. However, if the money's kind of funny, you definitely want to get the NordVPN. Use our code WWT to get 75% off, because it's kind of hard in these streets. We didn't get to do a post show yesterday, so let's kind of go over all the matches that happened yesterday. I was there poolside, so shout out to Mojo and his team at the Palms. I didn't go to the event. It looked amazing, but I'm actually kind of glad that I got to see that opportunity there. So we start off with the first match, which is Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. Man, oh my gosh, this was kind of crazy because I felt like it could go either way. But, as we know, Brock later on retired after losing the match to Oba. And I think it was definitely a changing of the guards type situation. But also here's the question. Like, I could appreciate that, he's retiring and, he's older, but he looks phenomenal. So that's one thing. And then, like, what next? I think all athletes get kind of this like super itch sometimes, as far as like you retire, but then you're like, well, what am I going to do now? So I personally don't think this is the last time we're going to see Brock. But I think if this is going to be how you're going to go out between like him and Cena, two very contrasting things. And both were, well, I don't want to say both were good. I like the Cena countdown. I just wanted him to stay heel a little bit longer, but we've talked about that before. But two different contrasting retirement situations. Definitely Brock leaving his boots in the ring was like crazy, and then tearing up, because think about it, like your career, and then also he had such a phenomenal career, meaning that like he got to call the shots, allegedly. I'm just supposing. So that was definitely like a good thing on his part. So shout out to Oba. I'm wondering what's going to happen next for Oba as far as that as well. So we'll see what's going to come along in that part. Then we had the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, they defeated Rusev and JD Madonna. That was an interesting match in itself. I honestly, it's so crazy. Like when you're like working as well as watching. This was one of the matches that I didn't get to see fully because I was running around doing some stuff for some folks. So it was Penta defeats Evans. Hey, Lynette, how are you doing? Let me know what you thought of Mania Night 2. So Penta defeats Evans, Rusev, McDonough, Ray, and Dragon Lee. So excuse me, I got that wrong. Penta came out as the winner for that one, which is well deserving. I mean, he's been in the game. He was, I would say, maybe about a year or so, or something like that. So he's been in the game for a minute. I think this is only the beginning for him. Lynette saying, I said Bianca was going to return, and what happened? She returned and announced. Look. Hey, Eric, what's up? Look, we'll jump. We're kind of going through night 2 and the results and stuff like that. I kind of want to get into Bianca, but hang tight because I have a whole think situation about that. Not in a bad or a good way, but just like, I mean, what else is they supposed to do? So then you had the United States Championship, Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams with Lil Yachty. This was kind of crazy because the gingerbread shirts at Mania. I don't know why they didn't think of this sooner. But Trick Williams defeats Sami Zayn by a pinfall to become the new United States champion. And I wish like the rest of the team was on there. Like I'm exhausted, y'all. I drove back from Vegas today, and I've been going. I think I got like an hour nap, and I've been going ever since. So I'm supposing that most people have who are either at Mania or doing things for Mania. Like if you're doing a watch along or post short, you have Mania fatigue. Like I am still very, very tired. Like I said, I got to Vegas Saturday night, and I just got back this morning. So definitely some Vegas fatigue. So shout out to the team for covering that. But I wish they were on for this question, and so I might circle it back. But here is my question, for my folks who are listening. We see Trick. He's defeated Sami Zayn. Like, do you think that was the right? I don't want to say do you think that's the right move, but it's just kind of like some people. I'll hint at it because I think I'm going to wait for the team. Some people, they came before Trick. Maybe I won't hint at it. Carmelo Hayes came before Trick, and it seemed like he had a rocket strapped to his back, but like things changed. And then you have Trick, who came and I don't know if it was a combination of like his whole look and everything is just a whole they're doing memes and people are dressing up as him. I don't know if there's necessarily know that a lot of people are dressing up as Mello. So that's one thing, marketability. So I'm really wondering what happened, meaning that Carmelo came, he had a little bit of a rise, and then it kind of like they're kind of looking for a place for him, which is, I don't know, it's perplexing. Like I always said, I always wished I had like an answer, or I wish I could be in the room when they're having those discussions. I wouldn't necessarily, no shade to my WWT family. I just want to know. So if they're like, look, you can't tell anybody, but you could be sitting in the room, then I would definitely sit in the room. What up, producer from the future, Dylan? On a side note, Dylan, if you can get me the Raw preview, because I didn't get a chance to pull it, then please do it. If not, there's not one coming. So my thing is with Mello, meaning that he came before Trick, and it seemed like there was a rocket strapped to his back, and then it kind of cooled off. And now Trick's here, and it doesn't seem like his rocket's going to cool off anytime soon. And, I think it's one, marketability. Somebody told me there's like kind of like almost like an airport test, meaning that they're walking through the airport and people think that you're doing something without knowing who you are and what you do, then that's the airport test. I think Mello still has that too, or not still. I think Mello has that too. If they both were walking through an airport, people would look at both of them. So I'm just curious as to, what's happening with that and what's the game plan. Lynette saying, what up, Neil? Lynette saying they did the same thing with the women's United States Championship. Well, Julia, she came on the first day and then she qualified for the Money Bank. See, I think with Julia and Stephanie Vaquer came after, and maybe I just answered my question, or Lynette, you helped me answer the question. The audience just connected with, Cousin Ron. Why does it say Neil? What up, Cousin Ron? Or does it say Nell? Okay, I'm wearing glasses. I can't even read it properly. That's how tired I am. Maybe the audience chose who to. It's like but then you have Nick Khan saying he doesn't listen to the audience. I don't know. So there's a lot of thoughts happening here. So one theory is that the audience gravitated towards gravitated towards Stephanie versus Julia, and then and the other thing is the audience gravitated towards Trick versus Mello, meaning that the audience is buying more merch, meaning that they see more marketability there, meaning that there's more money. That's one theory. Or it's a locker room thing and it just didn't work out. With that being said, what did work out was Mara, I don't know where the music is. So name and he appears. I believe it said.
Happy Monday to all my constituents of the Women's Wrestling Talk universe. If you're hearing the sound of my sultry voice, it's the mayor, which means it's Monday, which means we got a lot to discuss. And the mayor is here to save the goddamn day again, just like he's been doing the past 96 hours in these WrestleMania streets. So if you want something to know about WrestleMania, look no further, because your boy was ground level both nights.
Both. Before we get into that, I feel like I haven't seen the councilman in a minute. The councilman's in the building as well. What up, councilman?
Oh, it's a great day to be the councilman after a good WrestleMania. All I can say is you're welcome. You're all welcome. Each and every single
one. Okay.
Lynette, to answer your question, my favorite match of night 1 and night 2. I gotta think about that. I really can't argue with the Roman Punk match because that's gonna be a classic. Like, I'm gonna remember that match for years to come. So I gotta go with that, even though my heart loved the Oba match. That's all I cared about all weekend. But the Oba match, 5 minutes in and out, kind of did what it did.
It was a great moment. I give it a moment. It was a great moment.
Outside of that, man, and for me, maybe I'm a little bit biased because she's a friend of the show and I love her work. I'm gonna go for night 1. This might surprise a lot of people, but that women's tag, I thought Paige looked really good. And I was telling another content creator yesterday after Mania Night 2, I was like, she wasn't hesitant like you saw her in her AEW work. She was hitting all the marks, and like it looked like she was comfortable in her own body to hit all her repertoire moves. So like that really made me happy to see. Even me telling her at WrestleCon, like, yo, I'm really happy for you, and she had to try to dumb it down, but like to see it transition to like the performance, I'm like, oh, like you really back to yourself. Because when they did, somebody posted out a tweet about like the top women's wrestlers right now in the company and how they're all like on the other side of 35. Paige ain't even 34 yet. She won't be 34 till later this year. So she was still wrestling with that genesis of the 4 horsewomen. And then she's still young. Like, she's still young. So I'm just happy she gets to kind of like again, throwing it back to her movie, she gets to like write her own story again. She gets to like revise that chapter.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Well, thank you, councilman, and please welcome.
I'll say it.
Yes.
All right, but of all people, drop the kayfabe back. I am definitely giving myself credit as a part of her return. I'm definitely going to take that and be like, I was a part of that story. I don't care what nobody's saying. The video I'm talking about, TK, I'm a part of this story. That's all I know.
Okay.
Another thing before we introduce our other guests, I posted some clips on Twitter. You'll see there's a very fun match at WWE World with JC Jane and Thea Hale. That shit was dope. It had some comedy spots, some good spots. It was fucking dope. That was my other favorite.
Your clients match, Lola and Jada?
No, I did not. I
heard that was fun.
Very upset about that. I think that was pretty early on the WWE World side on Friday, and I'm definitely not pleased. And I'm also not pleased that Damian Priest wasn't matching my client's fit on the red carpet. But I sent them private messages. We're going to talk to his tailor. I know some people that can help him out with that, because you can't be next to greatness just like with this half-ass wardrobe,
Yeah,
they taking pictures.
He had one job. One job.
Yeah. We not we're not gonna get our own reality TV show like Bianca and Tez unless he stepped this shit up. Like,
Right.
can't be having R-Truth carrying you with the tag team titles and then having Lola. We can't do that. You know, you got to match the energy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Speaking of matching the energy, Hope is also in the building. What up, Hope?
I cannot. It's Monday after WrestleMania. Hello, everyone. I am so jealous of you all who got to be on the ground. I mean,
man,
how much fun was that? However, I have to say, because I caught the tail end of that conversation, and I can say as a Damian Priest fan, as a Damian Priest mega fan, that may have been his way of protesting. I mean, he's just one half of the World Tag Team Champions and wasn't on the card. I'm still waiting for someone to explain that to me. How does that happen?
I have a question. This is non-wrestling related. Is that a cowboy shirt?
That's right.
You
Cut her
you
mic.
did.
Cut her mic. Cut her mic.
Thank you.
Cut her mic.
I was like, dang it, Hope, but I liked you. I knew something was wrong with her. As soon as I saw this, I knew it was gonna reveal itself soon.
Wow.
Cowboy fan for life.
Cowboys out of here, man.
I didn't have a choice growing up in my household between my dad and my best friend growing up. I had no choice. And it's kind of stuck. Hey.
You always got a choice.
TK, I'm gonna need our HR to start vetting these people a little bit better.
Can you like tilt your camera like this so it just show this part? Like just for
we're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh boy.
I don't know what year that's going to be, but we're going to the Super Bowl.
That part. So I was just kind of going through the matches from yesterday because we didn't have a post show. So I'm on the Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio match.
So what did you guys?
Night one, thankfully, shout out to Courtney. She held it down for us by doing a watch along and a post show. So we're just doing night two because we already did night one. And we're not trying to be here for 3 hours because I can't speak for said, but I am tired.
I forgot.
I got a little energy. I was cooked Saturday night though.
Man, look, for you guys who are catching the show now, or you didn't hear me in the beginning, I was in Vegas since Saturday night of last week, and I had to do a tap out text to said Sunday morning. I was delusionally tired. And then when I came back from WrestleMania night 2, I literally passed. And for y'all who know, I don't know, I can't speak for non-melanated folks, but you don't fall asleep with your outside clothes on. And I literally passed out on Sarah's couch with my outside clothes on, face down, for like 3 or 4 hours before I hit the road. So I was like that tired.
Different from last year. I can't confirm because I was out at Mania both nights. So I don't know if TK was out here showing free feet at the pool this year. I can't. If anybody was there and let me know what was really going on, because I wasn't there this time.
I wasn't there, and I heard about TK.
Wow.
Hey, they say your girl out here popping right now. She out here stunting on it right now.
That wasn't the case. First off, I want to let me thank a few people. Shout out to Mojo and his crew. They had some really great events. They showed me incredible hospitality. They got Mark a cabana. By default, I was in the cabana too. So, I was living a nice life at the Palms, watching WrestleMania night 2. And it was great. So shout out to that. And then I did say at the top of the show I was going to tell a few stories. So last night I got to have dinner with the Busted Open crew, which is surreal. So yeah, shout out to Mark for trusting me to help with his calendar for be boots on the ground for that week with him. And it's a lot of adventures. And also, I don't know, speaking to like a WWE superstar or superstar in general, man, the grind is real. Like to be recognized everywhere you go, and like people like looking at you and then wanting to shake hands and wanting to like, get pictures and all that. I'm tired and people weren't asking me for nothing. So I don't know. I don't know how y'all superstars do it. It's man, I can't imagine. I know. Yeah. Yeah. So shout out to Mark for trusting me with that. But yeah. But back to, and no, my feet weren't out. I was in sneakers all week. Back to,
she lying. Yo, she lying right there. You gonna really tell that lie?
Back
so you wasn't toes out at the beach pool watch party at the Palm. That's what you
no, I wasn't even wearing a swimsuit. I brought a swimsuit. I didn't even wear a swimsuit.
That ain't what I heard, TK. That ain't what I heard.
Well, maybe they got a different TK. I don't know. There's a few melanated folks there. There was some girls with some cheeks out. It was a situation. But back to
they watched this. That's how they knew.
Oh my god. Back to Finn Balor. Oh, so shout out to the shirts. I'm gonna post those shirts. I put it on the stories. We got a lot of compliments on our shirts. Our shirts are really dope. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check our stories later on today. The designer is actually in one of these boxes. Shout out to Will. Really, a year later, I finally was able to wear the shirt. So I enjoyed them. A lot of people definitely wanted them. So hopefully they cop one. Back to Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. Thoughts on this match?
The entrances did it for me. Just for me with WrestleMania, I mean, the matches are great, but for me, it's the entrances, and both delivered. I mean, wow. Just to hear that theme back with Demon Balor. I mean, how long had it been? And for the crowd to join in unison with him, it took me back. And the right person won, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Said,
I'm still on the side that wish they would have just had the Demon show up as opposed to announce everything. That kind of dilutes it for me. I thought Dom's entrance was dope. I'm very curious who all the superstars were underneath the mask, but Dom got a huge pop in the arena. The match itself, the story they told was good because you're kind of reintroducing the Demon Balor to an audience that might not be familiar with it. As a Demon Balor fan, I wish there was less. I wish it was a sprint. I wish there was less offense on Dom's part, but they did some good stuff like Dom hitting the 619 with the chair over Finn's neck and like Finn kicking out. There was a point in the match where Finn kicked out at 1. I wish they would have did that more, really play up that this is a different version of Finn, but he got the win. My only question is, where was Judgment Day? Where was Liv, Raquel, and Rox? Because the only person that had an excuse to be missing was JD, who was in the ladder match earlier in the night. That's what I don't understand. I thought you just saw Finn really take out all the Judgment Day and kind of have his moment. It was just, they really played WrestleMania straightforward this weekend, which is why, for me, it didn't hit outside of just being in the environment. Everything was very straightforward, no surprises. It felt like watching a regular show.
Will?
I agree with Mayor. Like, I feel like if y'all were there, this is a good WrestleMania, y'all. For us at home, it felt like Saturday Night Main Event. Like, low key, like I fell asleep on some of that stuff. Watching.
One.
Yeah, from a fan side for like Finn and Dominic, I would hope, like, I love the entrances. Now, from a production side, though, I was like, bro, y'all got to get it together. All this money y'all charge, and y'all are not hitting y'all cues right. Y'all not hitting camera angles right. Because Finn was definitely not supposed to be under there when all that confetti fell. He was not supposed to be under. He was supposed to be standing in front, and then it fell. As soon as it fell on him, I was like, oh, watch the struggle he finna have walking down that ramp. Because you kept saying he was. He couldn't even do the thing no more. He was like, you know what? Hold the stick up. Somebody get these streamers off me. Oh, that had me laughing. But the match checked off all the boxes. Like, it was like how Mayor said, it told a good story, but it is like, where do you go from here? I know they tried to spin like Dom needs to do it on his own type thing, like kind of like on the last couple of Raws, but I don't think that kind of translated over. And then it was like, what day of? It's like, oh, it's a street fight now. It's like, y'all could have been had that going. Like, why wasn't it a street fight in the first place?
And so thoughts on Jade and Rhea?
Trash.
Oh, okay.
Because the result? Okay. I was about to say, because the match was dope.
No, match was dope.
You can make argument that that's Jade's best match. And what I'm mad about is that Jade hit a one-winged angel in the match. Where was the pop? Where was the pop when that happened? I'm like, yo, that's a Kenny Omega move.
Nah, you know what it is. You know what it is. Just say it. You know what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is. People
what is it?
People want to hate Jade
for
for
just
because she's confident and black.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean,
Confident
she
black.
came out to booze in the arena, which is stupid. I also don't like that she entered. I have a problem when your champion enters first. I don't like that. That happened a few times
I didn't like that
this weekend.
Yeah.
So it kind of diluted Jade's appearance and entrance for me when she's entering her first Mania as champion. They should have made that more of a big deal. So if you pay attention to all like the things and the politicking backstage, and it's like, it seems like Rhea just got her way. If you want to read into those things, which sucks, because like it should have made Jade look like an even bigger star, especially on the heels of Bianca not being back for a while now. We don't know when Naomi's going to come back. That's the big three. What are we doing? I think she'll still orbit around the title. I'm so sick of Rio. Like, I'm happy that Io had her moment, but like the Rio stuff has to stop. All you sickos at TKO with your fetishes needs to stop. Io is better than this. She should not be relegated to this fuck shit. Like, I'm tired of it. And it's like this. It was a meaningless pop. Rhea got her moment. She'll be on SmackDown now. So it's like, all right, I just got to see how it plays out. But the match itself was dope.
Is Rhea the next Charlotte Flair as far as titles, like eventually?
I don't
think anybody will get there. No.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Nah, this was more money. Like, even answer Lynette, like, do you blame Triple H? Nah, this was purely like TKO. Like,
well, this is what I'm saying. That's Charlotte. All the time, if you remember Charlotte in her collecting belts or collecting titles, it's like the women's division would be kind of weird, and then it's like, all right, well, let's call back Charlotte. And I feel like that's what I mean. I feel like Rhea is gonna be the next Charlotte. Like when Charlotte, and I'm not, y'all don't get on me. Charlotte, don't come for me. I'm not saying you're retiring anytime soon. I'm just saying that I see Rhea being in that place where it's like she'll get some time off, but they need like a energy lift into the women's division. Because I honestly feel like WWE is kind of going back to the Vince McMahon era, and that's a whole nother discussion. They'll insert Rhea. I see Rhea like getting multiple titles as her, provided she's, she stays injury free and she's not out for long periods of time. I see her getting more than her fair share of titles. Maybe not as many as Charlotte when Charlotte finally does decide to retire, but close to it. Because if you think there's some women that have 1, 2, or no titles, and then you have Charlotte with, so I feel like Rhea's gonna be that girl.
Yeah, but
I think they see Charlotte with like a dozen or 14. They realize I feel like they realize they can't have people eclipse like 10 and stuff like that, because now it's so close to John, and now you're trying to say like, are you going to pull that trigger and have Charlotte break John? Because if you're going to do it, you got to do it within the next 5 years.
Nah, they're gonna do it to break Flair. Like, it wouldn't be John, it'd be Flair for her to do it. So that way her dad and her can have that moment, or tie with him. It's either one of those. But I don't think Rhea will have it like that. I see her maybe hitting like a Roman stride where it's like 7 or 8 time women's champion, just because Charlotte got a lot of that when everything was transforming now around women and they were the center. And her rivalry with her other horsewomen made that go back and forth. I don't see TKO or WWE going with the back and forth for the title, like the hot potato title, like they did during that time. So I think we do see Rhea's gonna have like these extensive reigns where we hit like 300 to 400 days. Then we take it off of her, let her go get a rest, and see if anybody can draw us in ticket sales. And then when we start getting close to Mania, if we can't, hey, let's crack the emergency glass. So she's going to become more Seth Rollins than she will Charlotte.
Okay, I'll take that.
Because I don't see her as like, oh, like it's y'all shoving her down our throats too much. It's like, I get it. She's the money. Jade ain't selling tickets, but we know why Jade ain't selling tickets. That's the other conversation that really got to be had, because why will y'all not purchase tickets to see a black woman as WWE champion if she's not putting on the princess act like Bianca has to? And keyword I said it's to.
Yeah, but let's also be on like the it's not a dirty secret. We're in America, and in America the majority is non-melanated. I mean, yeah, you can speak that it's, you know, other colors than non-melanated, but it's not black folks, right? So yes, I personally want to see the Naomis, the Biancas, the Jades, and like I'm gonna cheer for them all the time, but they resonate with me. So like we want these things, but it's no different than somebody who's non-melanated that resonates. It's almost kind of like a preference. I don't like it, but I don't own WWE. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's some temperament where it's like, yes, it could air on this. And I don't agree with people sending Jade, you know, nasty messages, because it's wrestling, y'all. It's not
that deep.
It's not that deep. Like, if you don't like her, then just don't buy her merch or change the channel when she comes on. There's so many minor things. There's so many smaller things, because if you don't like it, you just don't like it. That's your thing. But you don't have to send her DMs and say the N-word and do all these other like, it's unnecessary. So, but on the flip side, yeah, it's like where black women are right now on so many different levels beyond wrestling, it's a very weird space. And I don't want to get political, but it's just like, if you talk to different people in different specs of you know, the entertainment space, the engineering space, we're in a weird space right now. And so what we're experiencing is what's showing up in the world or in America right now. So you know, TKO is going to go where the money is.
But that's what, you know, and let it be ignorance, though, because you're literally now as a consumer going, just because it looked like this, I'm saying no. Because if you take away, like, if I'm a blind person looking like this and I'm hearing Jade is Rhea Ripley when she first joined the Judgment Day. No boos for her. We all rocking with that. So when Jade gets a little bit confident, now it's boo because she looks like us. That's ignorant. That's dumb as hell. I'm like, yo, that got to be the most silliest shit I've seen, because she does everything else a heel is supposed to do. You're getting Jade, but you want to take it away. Because I remember like, watching her intro, I didn't hear boos. I heard absolutely nothing. And I'm like, yo, that's so fucked up for y'all to do to her because of the hue in her skin tone, not anything else. Not that you're a bad heel, not that you put on a bad match, not that you don't look bad as fuck every time you come out here, but the hue of your skin make me say no. So that's why I can't say it's not relatable. It's just ignorance. Because she does. Well,
it's also
related to.
It's not just the hue in her skin, it's her attitude, and not in a bad way. More like Jade didn't just get confident. Jade's been confident before she even got signed to AEW. Like, there's a certain type of confident black woman, and even, you know, extend it to other women, that when they're in a room, they're already intimidating people. And Jade has that. And it's not a shade to Bianca, because Bianca's just a different individual. She's confident, but it's more like it's tempered. It's just her personality.
The confidence that they accept. Like I said, that's why I said when it was the princess thing, that's no shade to her. It's like, yo, you know how to play the character you're given to. Like, hey, I'm the person that goes towards the crowd. I'm the person that's to smile even when they're booing me.
Right.
For no reason. Because you take it back with her, Rhea, and Io. There were no villains in this match. Why did y'all make Bianca a villain? You could have made Io the villain. Really, you should have made Rhea the villain for doing white privilege and inserting herself into that match. But instead, you'd rather be completely ignorant because of the hue of their skin tone. And that's what I think is so stupid. If you told me you just didn't like the character's not coming together, that's different. But you deciding I don't want to buy a ticket to SmackDown because this person looks this shade, that man, grow up. Grow the fuck up. Because if you let a predator like Brock Lesnar and you tell him thank you for retiring, you mean to tell me you can't support any other champion? Fuck out my face, man. Sorry.
Well, here at WWE, we support all women, no matter what color they are. That's why we started the archive.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might say he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today. We have a lot of stories to get through, so let's get through this last match, CM Punk and Roman Reigns. What you all think of it? We'll start with Hope first.
I have to say that was the best transition that I've ever seen TK make. So I just wanted to give you your flowers on that.
Yes, that was great.
Marvelous transition. You're learning.
Yeah.
Hope, thank you, Sid. Hope, your thoughts.
Sure. I'm not disappointed with the outcome. Not surprised by the outcome. Entrances were fantastic, especially with Punk. The meaning behind the names on his jacket was heartwarming for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Also a clue to me, yeah, he's not gonna get it, because my initial concern, the only concern I had about Roman was that he would be part-time. In the condition the company is in, will the fans really want a part-time champion? Which makes me wonder if, our comments from Friday didn't get back to him, because I noticed he said on the post show, no part-time here, I'm here through the summer.
Will?
This is definitely one of the matches where they told where we was talking crap, and they was like, okay, we're gonna show y'all. They definitely shut me up. I was like, hey, I kept saying this should not be a main event match with these promos. They was like, all right, you wait till this match starts. That's how you end the WrestleMania. Now I will say that whole match, that's how Stephanie and Liv's match should have went. With the intensity they set everything up for, that's how they match should have been, lengthwise and everything. But no notes for the main event. That's all I can say. No notes. And Tribal Chief is back on top. CM Punk go put Ben Gay and Icy Hot on his knees. And I'm gonna smoke that Larry pack.
Mayor?
In a weekend that saw us really tracking the time of every match, I don't know how long this match went. It might have been the longest of the weekend, but it delivered on every cylinder. It's easily the match of the weekend, easily will be one of the greatest Mania matches of all time. And it just played up on like just pure hatred. It didn't need anything. It was the antithesis of Saturday night with the celebrity involvement. They said, hey, we just going to put on a great match with each other. Punk tributing the names on his jacket, throwing it back to his Ring of Honor days. I didn't think we would ever see that in WWE. And then I don't know what they did between the co-main and the main, but they gave Roman a different camera. Like he was, I don't know if that's like 20K or whatever, but he had a crisper camera coming to the ring to really like emphasize everything. And I thought
apparently it was like a red camera or something. I was talking to somebody. His name is Ryan. He used to be on Busted Open, a great journalist. And I was talking to him, and he said apparently it's like a red cam that they used in like UFC like 20 years ago. It's kind of like there's definitely like almost like a gaming. First off, sorry to cut you off, and I know y'all can get me on this. Roman Reigns was fine as like I don't know if he had stopped eating bread for 6 months. I don't know what he did, but it was all tight and glistening. He needed
The
some cocoa butter.
cheekbones
I'll
was
send you
smoking.
some. Right. It was like,
Man's
okay, like you
definition was
saw
stupid.
every, yeah. So,
It's
shout out
okay
to
for you to
whoever
say
the
TK.
dietitians.
It's okay.
Well,
for
I
you
already
to
know
say
y'all gonna circle back on this anyway, so I'm willing. I'm
Oh no,
falling on the
no.
sword.
Believe me, if Roman took my mama home last night, I've been like, hey, Pops, that's it. That's it. I'd have just
Can't.
you saw what it looked like when he came out, Pops. I'm sorry. We know who else acknowledging him tonight. That man came in with a whole different aura, yo. Like I was like, yo, this dude, yo, I don't know who I don't know. I was like, yo, were y'all just saving all the production for his entrance? Like, did y'all
Man,
other stuff up just to make sure this was right?
I have it on
It
good
was-
authority, Dylan. Me and TK had a bunch of conversations in the week, and I don't know how this came up, but I have it on good authority that TK likes the Usos. I have it on good authority. This was like
that's not even new.
her exact
I'm part
words.
I'm part of the family. What are you talking about?
That's cool. I just said what I said. So
Yeah.
unfortunately for my audience that the mayor was very busy these past 4 days. I didn't get to do For the Love of TK. But it's still
Man,
an
we didn't
ongoing thing. And if you of the Pacific Islander influence, hit me up. I might have a gift for you. I might have some stuff. But no, the match is dope. I like that we leaned into a lot of possible double turns without really doing it this weekend. Punk doing a low blow, snatching the Ulafala. That was UFC light heavyweight champion Carlos Oberg. Last night he snatched the Ulafala off, trying to go for a spear. And I like that they just told storytelling in the ring, which you don't really get in WWE a lot anymore. And they told the story of just hatred. And Punk losing didn't look bad. It's like, hey, Roman was the better man tonight. And now you reset tonight. And I thought that's what you needed for a main event. No surprises, no run-ins. And I think if you look at the past decade, there was a time where the WWE leaned on not just veterans, but leaned on legends and surprises, things like that. I think they were just trying to showcase, hey, we can put on a dope product with just our roster for our audience. And Mania Night 2 delivered.
They saw what night 1 happened. They was like, hey, let's not do that. Let's not bring nobody out during that match. Let them two just go.
All right. Before I think y'all are gonna stay on. I don't know if you answered my question, but if you are, there's a couple things I definitely do want to talk about. Bianca Belair says she's pregnant, and I feel like one, and I'm saying this very jokingly because I know how babies are made. But what took y'all so long? You've been out for so long. You should have made it happen. Like, it was one of those things where it's just like we all knew.
Rushing their intercourse, like what they just wanted to enjoy it for a while. Like
also from what was heard was that her finger had already been fixed and it was a plan for her to come back. Then she found out she was pregnant. That's what took the longest. And then also to what Mayor said, why y'all leave that young lady alone? Let that lady look. That lady has given us a whole bunch of moments for us to
right.
We love the ESC. If y'all don't let that girl go put her feet up in it,
TK over here. What you doing?
I want her to. I'm just like, what took you so long? But I'm happy for her.
You, Dion, honey, every time we do predictions, they be like, "Oh, this is when Bianca Belair coming back." If y'all don't let that lady get her some rest,
Will, you remember I've been saying she was pregnant for a while now. I was like,
TK did call that. She been called that. Yeah, she been calling that.
Like now is the perfect time. So no, I'm not rushing their intercourse based off the reality show, based off of thankfully where women are right now in wrestling, that they can go and come back, and based off of where we are as far as working out and all the things. Like, this seemed like the moment for her to take that. As far as storylines, we have Naomi. Like, when they both come back, and obviously they're not going to come back together. Naomi hopefully sooner, but we never know. when there's already set in storylines for them. So now was the perfect time for her to get pregnant. And it was just kind of like, and then you can come back. It's not like Awesome Kong where she's like, yeah, it's that's it. And then you have the whole thing that Charlotte said as far as women who are in their 40s and stuff like that. Like, that's not the end of their career. Like, there's so many opportunities now. So it's just kind of like, damn, y'all home. Let's make it happen. So
and Montez ain't doing nothing. So what else was he gonna do?
Ah,
I'm
congrats.
just a little sorry. We might not see the EST until 2028.
That's okay. That's okay though. You want to know why? Look at what all we got. When she get back, look at what we gonna have. One, Lola Vice is gonna be main roster. Jada Parker is gonna be up there. Sol Ruka is there. Paige is there. AJ Lee is there. Like, she finna come back where the women's division is on fire. And you know what it's gonna be? She gonna come back in that time where I'm calling it that in 2028, women gonna close out WrestleMania.
In Saudi?
Yeah,
that's 27.
27, 28.
Yeah, but yeah, I know it's 27, but I don't think it's coming back to America in 28.
No, the Saudis are
gonna go to London. Don't do Saudi twice in a row. Do not do Saudi twice in a row.
By the way,
don't do Vegas twice in a row.
On the eventual 4 horsewomen main event match, and I think that will take place in the next 3 years. I think everything will combine, the dollars and the cents, and they'll get all of them in one room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Based off of certain things, and I don't want to get into too much because I actually have to tell you guys some stuff.
We can speculate on Bayley because Bayley stormed out, apparently.
Right. Yeah, based off of everything, it's looking like we're, I don't want to say regressing, but certain things that we hoped for with like Triple H being in charge and all this other stuff it's not I think it's gonna
TK, what y'all hope for? What y'all? After Hunter left NXT, I was like, I don't know why y'all got him in this seat. I do not know why.
I think when he left NXT and he took over the reins for the first, I want to maybe call the year to 6 months, it was great.
Yeah. And then when he started, we're in a new era. That's when it just.
Yeah, but I don't think that
I can't put it solely on Hunter. I think it came out today that TKO does have full creative control.
Yeah,
so I think that power struggle does exist.
You can tell. No, you can tell. Sammy and Trix is the pure perception of the battle between them and TK. Like Trick wants Sammy, TK wants Trick, so that's why it's like, no, Trick going over tonight. F that. Like, I know you want Sammy. He's always a crowd favorite. No, Trick going over tonight. We want him. So you see, like, the consistent battle of what's going on between. That's why it's like, I don't necessarily blame Hunter for all that, but also too at the same time, you gotta be able to have accountability. Like, bro, you know what your inside writers room look like.
Say it again.
And you didn't progress it. You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't get other people in there. You got great wrestling minds. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have great entertainment minds all the way.
I don't think that's what it is either.
Why it's not?
I don't think. I think TKO and Endeavor have a bigger part than we actually know and can think about. And I think because it doesn't. And I think you were on the show whenever I was last on the show, Hope, where it's like you can't expect somebody to hit it out the ballpark every single week all year round. However, I have a lot of faith in Triple H that when there was a moment in time where he controlled it all and was very much into the wrestling of it, that we got great shows. Then I feel like TKO and Endeavor and all the other gods that WWE has to serve now is getting involved, and it's taking me to very much the Vince McMahon ending era. And I call it for you guys who watched AfterBuzz, there was like that moment for at least 3 to 5 years where it's just like, bro, what are we doing? What are we watching? And it feels like we're going into that era where it's kind of more like the dollars and cents of it versus the wrestling of it. And you could see that in who who the people were covering WrestleMania. And again, I don't really want to get into it because there's some other political stuff involved, but the people who got kicked out, the people who are seeing that are covering press, all these things are very much orchestrated. It's not for the love of wrestling, it's for the love of money. And I feel like you can do both. But because we have Endeavor and TKO in the mix, we're not gonna, it's gonna be something different that we may not enjoy.
Just to piggyback off that, I just seeing around me, because I was on the floor and near like the celebs, influencers, a lot of influencers there, not just on the floor level, but in the stands too. They probably invited a lot of people to the show. And I think we're in an era of it's not organic. I'll put it that way. That's why the wrestling product is what it is, where you have so many ads and things to help draw your attention span to something else. They were really pushing something called WWE Club. Don't know what it is. But at WWE World, John Cena was promoting it, gave a kid a ticket upgrade, and was saying, hey, you don't want to miss out on WWE Club. It's another way to get your money. But it seems like we're in an era of manufacturing the moment in the ring and on the outside of the ring. While influencers being there who are really just creating content throughout the show, a lot of people emoting, and it just seems inauthentic. You see that in the arenas. Is because we're trying to tell you how to enjoy it instead of giving you something organic that will naturally bring it out of you. At least that's what I've noticed.
But can I be honest though? That's where we live in. Nobody wants a organic moment. They want you to build the moment for them. So that's why it's like, it's not like TK is far off from this. Like social media, we have to tell everybody what to like. You have to tell everybody what to. You have to tell all of these people what to do now. Most people will not go watch a movie unless they know everything that's going to happen in this movie. I need every cameo and surprise that's happened before I give you $20 to go see this movie. That's the world we live in now. And again, to bring it back to Triple H, that is your responsibility to pivot and understand that and be able to find that middle ground. And that's what I think that Vince didn't have the capability of doing. And now we're seeing Hunter. Like that's something like you've mentioned, TK, knowing how to speak the dollar amount. So if you don't know how to talk,
I think that's where the frustration is with Triple H. I feel like he does want to find the middle ground with balancing wrestling and the money. But again, when you have bosses on top of bosses, like you can only do so much. I think he has power, but he doesn't have all that power that we're attributing it to.
I'll agree to that, but I also agree to in Hunter's point that there is still an act of favoritism that go in when it does come to that. So it's like, are you making the best interest of the company, or are you making the best interest in what you think is creative, and then trying to go find a middle ground with TKO? Because if you're telling me, you're coming to me, hey, I think we should do this, and it's like, but we want to go this route, and it's like, okay, well, let's make Sammy U.S. champion, and then that'll really go over to go into WrestleMania, and it's like, okay, well, did you really think that was going to work when Carmelo Hayes is the one that's getting all this heat, and we still want Trick to go over? Because that was the better story. Carmelo surpassed Hayes, Trick surpassed Carmelo. And so for now, for Trick to beat him for the U.S. title at Mania shows you that, like, hey, I have surpassed the person that taught me all of this, rather than the gingerbread man versus the lemon pepper stepper. That's Hunter right there. That ain't TKO. That's Hunter right there. So that's what I'm saying. I get where you coming from, and it is both on both sides. But it's like there's an evolution that needs to happen with that because that money is coming in. And because they got to fit to. But I
think what I don't, I agree with you where we are in social media and having influencers and all this other stuff. But it's like you could make a pseudo organic way, meaning that like there's a creative way of selling a show without making it look like we're selling a show, if that makes sense. Like, we know. Like, we know, the commercials and all this other stuff, and the having the superstars in some of the commercials. Like, I get that stuff, but then there's kind of a level where it's like, man, like it's not about it's about who can afford it. I think Netflix just increased their rates again by another $1. Like it's crazy right now, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. I think we're headed to not so enjoyable time, and I don't think that people who are like just kind of the same thing with the Vince era, where it's just like people are like, oh, I'm gonna stop watching the product. And they didn't stop watching the product because you see them talking about WrestleMania on Twitter and etc. So I feel like we're gonna get into like a dark era where we're not gonna enjoy it as much because it's not for us. And we're just gonna, it's the ebbs and flows, it's just different. It's just a different master right now.
Yeah, but if you're gonna point it at anybody, it's y'all fault. It's y'all fault. All you Gen XYC Elemental PQRSs, all of y'all, this y'all fault. This y'all fault. Watching too much stuff. Having to digest stuff so quickly, so fast that it's like you can't come up with an organic thought for yourself. So you don't give other people time to build up a creative thing. It's like, no, I need it now. I need it here. I need it now. And y'all done got companies so scary now because you are the deciding factor of if this works because you have to give us your money. You saw that with WrestleMania. WrestleMania looked like people that were like this the whole time in office. Okay, I got to sell 80,000 tickets. Okay, I need to at least sell 20 by these 2 weeks. Okay, 20. Okay, they didn't do 20. They didn't do 20. Okay, 28. That's it. Get John Cena the host. Let's bring that in. Okay. They didn't bring in enough ticket sales. Okay. You know what? We need some more celebrities. Let's get iShow Speed and Pat McAfee. That's gonna bring it more up. Like you got people so scared, and it's the same thing with movie theaters. Like we'd rather focus on a remake than give you something original because we don't know if you gonna come watch it. We can't depend on you no more as a watcher. And we have a quota we gotta meet because we put so much money into this. We have to make this much money back a year, or we're in trouble. So I gotta throw these prices out. I gotta charge $42 for a burger at WrestleMania, and we gotta find a way to make this work.
At WrestleCon, the water was $9. A bottle of water like this.
I think I paid a bottle.
It wasn't like $9.
It was a tiny one. Yeah. I had to buy one from my friend at Bloodsport. It was like one of the little joints. I'm like, really? He was like, yeah, we don't have dispensers. I was like, all right, it's cool.
That's what I'm saying. It's a middle ground between both sides, and like you said, though, it's gonna take us going into a dark era to figure out and wait until we can get back to where it's sunny days again.
Yeah,
WrestleMania to me is actually starting to be like I want to word this politically correct because my favorite show is the Royal Rumble, but WrestleMania to me is kind of like it's trendy. It's kind of veering on the Super Bowl where it's not the biggest show. At least it's not the show that you want to go to anymore because it's the show that everybody's gonna go to. And I can only attribute this to my experience at WWE World when you had like some LFG talents there, AAA talents, things like that doing matches. It's like the audience that buys the stuff all around surrounding WrestleMania. I'm talking about like the meet and greets, the extra pictures, the moments. It's like those are people who are there to kind of be a part of the show. That makes sense. Like they just want like it's like going to Disneyland. You just want to grab things. You want your moment. You want to be seen with this stuff. Because there was a match going on and like it was Alpha Academy versus Mr. Iguana and La Parka. And I was just listening to it was ear hustling. There's some conversation around me because I was just sitting on the rail. They didn't know anybody that was wrestling these matches, including like the Thea JC Jane match, but they knew who Otis was. It just made me think like, who is this product for? And it's like people just have this like microwave mentality where they're probably not watching weekly, but they'll show up for this just to do all the things because it's the big show, you know?
Right.
You know what it turned into? It turned into NBA All-Star Weekend.
That's a better.
That's it.
Comparison.
Yeah.
That's what it turned into. That's what it's turned into. Everybody outside of it is all cool. Get your pictures, do everything. When the last time you watched the All-Star show? I don't mean big fans like you, even fans of the basketball. He just said no. The show don't count no more. Like I've seen influencers that's there that you ain't posted nothing about wrestling for an entire year, but you're at WrestleMania making content, getting these dope seats. When folks who bust their ass year round making content got to be in a box all the way at the top and don't get to see nothing. Crazy how we set this up.
But on the flip side too, like being in the press for WrestleMania and then being poolside with and I get what I what I stepped into is something that I lucked out into because not everybody has the opportunity. But being poolside, watching WrestleMania, and even the people.
TK, I'm sorry. I can't let you do that. It ain't luck at all. Don't let her do that to you. It is not luck. That lady busts her ass to be where she was at. I can't let you claim you got lucky to be there. You work hard as hell. You deserved to be where you were at. I just got to make sure.
Thank you. I didn't crave to see WrestleMania. If I were offered tickets to watch WrestleMania in the stadium versus sitting and chilling with a bunch of wrestlers and Mark and hearing, because I just soak things up, I'd pick that.
Yeah.
Because it's more genuine. It's not, like it's a weird feeling. And I think being there for the full week and seeing all the things that, like, you could literally just not even get tickets to WrestleMania and still get it 6 or 7 shows. Like from Wednesday to pretty much, I think the last show was like Sarah had a show Saturday night. She had a wrestling show Saturday night. So it's just kind of like you could watch as much wrestling and then still watch WrestleMania using the VPN, like at the comfort of your hotel. Like I feel like that's what it's becoming. And I think WWE needs to be very careful that they might, because it's coming to the point that you want to watch. I personally like watching the wrestling shows from home because you get to hear the commentary. You're at the comfort of your own home. Like, you're not spending, $200. That's not even the ticket. By the time you transportation and parking or transportation and Uber, you're already $150, $200 in the hole.
Yo, you know how much they was charging at Cosm to go watch WrestleMania?
Yeah.
$350 a day to go watch it at Cosm.
And Cosm's a great experience. But I mean, once you eat your food and all that, the food's kind of expensive and the drinks, but not for me to go sit in the dome and and watch it basically virtually. Like, nah.
Yeah. Not relaxed. People around you like, can I sit right here? Is anybody sitting? Like, no. For $350?
No. It's better to watch it at home.
Yeah, it's spectacle.
Yeah. I asked you guys something in the private chat. I gotta run. Are y'all gonna continue without me? Or are you wrapping it up? Let me know.
Wrap it up.
Damn, you had to out us like that on the air? Okay. I could have.
Well, you guys, I put in, said and Will, if you guys want to continue, there's more than enough stories.
I can go another 30 minutes about why my client Roxanne Perez, Obafemi, and Tiffany Stratton are the MVPs of this weekend. Like, I can go on for hours talking about my clients.
It's up to y'all, because I can share more firsthand experience about some of the indie shows if anybody wants to know in the chat.
I definitely want you to talk about Bloodsport if possible. So if you guys can go another 30, I'd appreciate it. Hope if you got to run, no worries. Give your social media real quick.
Oh, M60621.
All right, there it is. For y'all too, I still need to post a lot of stuff on both my account and WWT. And said we'll kind of talk about his experience.
Dylan wants people to say what you expect from Raw tonight so we can, do the stuff. Oh,
yeah, I didn't pull it. If you guys want to pull it, I didn't see it. I was been checking the WWE website.
Only thing we know about Raw is that WrestleMania Fallout, as well as a Roman Reigns appearance, as noted from last night in the post show. So it's the craziest show of the year. It's Raw after Mania. So what do you guys expect to happen tonight? Or do you guys have a prediction?
I can't give a prediction. I need to be out.
In the time she said that, she could have gave a prediction and peaced out.
You could have just said Roman looking fine again. We'd have just
that was it. That was it, and then peaced out. Even the time she holding out, she could have just said like, "Hey,
Roman looking fine again."
There you
and
go.
And Oba's looking fine again. See, I knew it was a trap. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.
All right, but as far as Raw, I think we're going to get. So what I've been noticing about Raw after Mania is there's not a lot of wrestling, which will probably follow the trends from this past weekend with WrestleMania. I think we'll get a Roman Reigns appearance, and I think we'll get a new challenger. I don't know who that will be, but if I had to put money on it, you know what? I say we get some interaction with Seth and Roman tonight. Why not? Seth's still going to have vision stuff to do with Braun Breaker, but I think Seth is probably going to kind confront Roman because he's back on his show again. They're gonna have a moment. Maybe it's Gunther. We don't know, but that's what I'll say. And I think we probably get 3 matches total. If I'm gonna be fair.
I want my Oba and Brock. I want my Oba and Roman stare down real quick, and then I want an interruption from Paul Heyman to promote the return of Braun Breaker and getting focused back on the title, and then Seth Rollins comes out for revenge. But then, like you say, like it's just him and Roman left in the ring. Because I think if you want to do something dope, rather than it just being one challenger, let's see who's on the entire division. Let them all come out. Let Gunther come out. Let all of them show like, yo, we're eyeing the tribal chief.
Mm-hmm.
So we know, okay, these are the people we can expect to cross his path as world heavyweight champion. And I feel like we might get some tag team action. I'm hoping to see a title change.
Okay. Well, the quiet thing is that we saw, okay, it's probably like 5 title changes over the weekend, but all the world titles changed except for Cody's, which looking at y'all in them boardrooms, because like don't play me. Only reason I'm thinking it makes sense right now is because I read something, I forget, I wish I can credit this person, but they said that the board probably wants the titles on Roman and Cody with the Street Fighter build-up, and I'm like, I hate that makes sense. I hate that makes sense because I hate it. Randy should.
Well, you can't have one walking around and the other one don't have it.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why Cody didn't drop. But I do also hope for women's wrestling, I hope we get a continuation of the stuff with Asuka and Io Sky and Kyrie, because they didn't get their Mania moment with the whole build-up, even though they did their own separate promos. One of them aired on Raw a week ago for Asuka, so you still got to pay that forward. So I'm just hoping it's a good show. Let's just hope that.
And I think you might get some call-ups. I think we may finally see. I think Sol Ruka may come up.
Yo, this was at the WWE shop store, the Superstore.
See what I'm saying?
More noticeable than anything, there was no other like NXT star influence throughout that entire store, just Sol.
So Sol might pull the trigger on Sol and give Sol the IC title.
Yeah, I thought that stood out to me. That really stood out to me as far as merchandise goes.
And I think we'll see something from Paige too. I think we'll see Paige come out, because isn't Raw in Vegas?
Yeah, it's at the T-Mobile Arena.
Yeah, I think we see Paige come out for something. I hope she. I know we ain't got a lot of time, so that's why I won't jump into that one, because she didn't want to cover night one. But love that Paige returned. I didn't like that it was returned in that way.
Yeah, and I think there's a story we can tackle real quick that Nikki Bella is supposed to be back within 6 to 8 weeks. She did show a picture of the ankle and how I guess she explained what's hurt exactly. I'm just interested to know how they're going to transition this, because this is very clearly, even if Nikki was able to go, this is very much clearly the Bella's moment to be tag team champions for these titles that weren't there when they were still active before. So you got to do this all over again. And now Bree's going to be a 2-time champion sometime, and Nikki's just one, but at least they'll have their moment.
I mean, shit, the easiest thing I would say is just
rebird it.
I would say rebird it, and then too, like, put Paige against Liv.
I would like that.
Because that was my prediction. I was like, I want Liv to win and be holding all of that up, and then Paige music hits and she walk out. Like, that would have hit way harder than her coming to help the Bellas. I'm like, bro, I'm going to say it, and I'm sorry. Quit trying to put Nikki and Bree in this category that they helped build this new division. Y'all need to stop doing that shit. Because that ain't true. Like, especially when they took that 4 horsewomen picture, I'm like, all right, I'm going to be quiet on this, because I'm like, because I think Bailey responded like, I ain't never seen y'all call yourselves that. I'm like, exactly, yo. Y'all, I ain't never seen y'all support each other. I was like, AJ Page, godmothers. Nikki and Bree, definitely pillars in the women's division. Them responsible for the women's revolution? Fuck out of here. Nah. Not around here, player. Not around here, player. Nah, y'all not gonna get y'all to push that narrative. No. Them
They,
two,
they,
you saw that picture.
I would say
Them,
they helped transition into the mainstream, got more eyes on the product.
they did. That's why I said pillars, yo. That's why I'm like, I'm not gonna take nothing away. I didn't watch them when they were there, but I'm like, y'all are definitely pillars. But as far as what made women be looked at as superstars and not divas anymore, them two women to the left of that picture are the main reason for that. No matter what. Hey, y'all could have canceled that whole Pat McAfee jelly roll thing. That could have went to Oscar versus Io. That was 35 minutes. That could have went to Oscar versus Rio.
Man, and yeah, I hope they get a spot tonight. We'll have to see what Raw looks like tonight. And I know we probably like the fallout's going to be the fallout. Dylan said they just announced JD versus Finn Balor. That should be a good match because it should be a continuation of Finn kind of doing what Edge was supposed to do on his way out. It's like, hey, I'm here to kill the Judgment Day. So you can just replay that and actually have somebody kill the Judgment Day this time.
Yo, mad random though. Maybe I was tripping. Was there a scene that they showed, a shot where they showed the Judgment Day and Carlito was behind them?
This weekend?
Yeah. Was I tripping or did they, or was that old?
It might have been an old clip because I Carlito was in Vegas, but I don't think he was.
Yeah, because I used the VPN, and I think I may have clicked when they said it was like going live now, but I think Netflix was playing last year's, and so because they're both in Vegas, and if you don't see it say 41, it was like and we got the Judgment here today, and I'm sitting and I'm seeing them stand there. Liv don't have a title either, and I'm like, wait, is Carlito back? That shit tripped me out. I was like, wait a minute.
And yeah, I agree, Dylan. Sidebar. There is some content me and TK got. We actually got TK to be a front-facing reporter this weekend. I'm very proud of myself for that. We got a lot of questions going on. You're going to see me singing some Mary J. Blige with Jazz on these socials very soon. Some good content stuff. A lot of it's not posted.
I saw you though, boots on the ground, man. I seen the pictures. I was like, you see, this is how WWT need to be represented right here. My man, the mayor is over here talking with all the constituents, getting all the videos, getting all the photos. Like, that's what I was saying I liked about this WrestleMania outside the show itself was watching like all of y'all content creators wise be able to do the stuff that y'all was doing. That's why I'd even like mentioned on kayfabe, like, and even like in the story I put, like, if you see content creators that do wrestling posting stuff, like, yo, like it, share it, save it, like really get these people out because this is our Super Bowl. So it's like they didn't spend their hard money to get there. They've busted their ass doing content year round to get there. Some of them, not all of them, but they're here. Support them because this ain't easy. And a lot of people don't know it's a lot of walking in Vegas. It's a lot of walking.
I was hurting.
Yeah, you're going to definitely get your 2,000
orthopedic shoes and change the insoles. This is not a joke. I am 38. I was like, yo, all this standing, moving around.
But let me ask you though, because that was one of the things I know we'll talk about on kayfabe. But we do it a little early, so the mayor is sometimes, occupied doing other mayoral things. But for you being boots on the ground, just as a wrestling fan, there, you also got to go to the show. But like outside of the show, before we get to that, like what stood out to you this year that you feel like was better than last year when we went out there?
Man, front of mind, you know how so the Superstore last year, it was in the center hall wing, which is more congested. They had the food court right there, but it was like you had to walk a long way just to get to the back where it was. You can actually just park across the street from the West Hall or wherever it was at this year, and it was bigger, more spaced out, so you can actually go around and see your merchandise. And it didn't feel like they ran out this year, and it was more spaced out. And you can go into WWE World. I actually went, like I said, I went to WWE World. That's worth the ticket. There's a lot of content I'll post regarding WWE World that was dope. A lot of things they have you can do in there, like get your own trading card. They had this box where you can talk to somebody in the box. I saw Kit Wilson and Maxine in the box, but you're talking to them live.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're just via satellite and the camera's on you. They can see you and they can identify you, have live conversation. And I would say as far as the events, they were spaced out better. And, you know, we went to the 4th rope event last year and then to 4 a.m. There was nothing like that. I thought that there were some events I couldn't attend that coincided with others, but it was spaced out enough to where, hey, I can hit all the big names that I want to hit. So I got to see Hog. I got to go to Ladies Night. Went to Bloodsport. Coincidentally, didn't get to go to what is it called? Didn't get to go to Stardom because it ran parallel to Bloodsport and it was at a different hotel. Didn't get to go to Maple Leaf Pro. I forget what I was doing at that time, but like it was better spaced out to where you can attend these things or attend World and still make it to WrestleMania on time. Going back to Superstore because Superstore didn't close to 11. They learned from last year just having everything just cluster into each other and you know, made it easier. Not all that. There's a lot of walking, but it wasn't that bad.
What would you say would be the highlight for your WrestleMania weekend? Like, of course, you know, like with the exclusion of being at the actual show, though, with the experience of being someone out there, being boots to the ground, and being a part of that, like, what was your thing that like stood out to you the most?
Man,
well, favorite moments for you that you can talk about on here as well.
Yeah, I definitely got there. I was going to tell TK earlier that D'Lo Brown gave me some advice. Some pickup game advice. And I could tell her it worked, and she would know exactly what I'm talking about. I would say just being. I mean, the favorite thing is just being on the floor at WrestleMania. That's an experience I think every wrestling fan should feel. I had great leg room. Wasn't one of them tight confined areas. Can walk to and fro back to like concessions and all that. It was perfect. It was like being at a football game. And then I was in the area where superstars couldn't actually go all the way to the back and wrestle, but great view. Got to see everything. Could walk close to the ring, take pictures next to it. It was dope. So I'd say that was my favorite part. Indie shows, I think compared to last year, not being like tired, I enjoyed all the indie shows. House of Glory, start to finish, dope. And despite the influence of TNA with some of these superstars getting pulled from matches, they still put on a great card. Charlie and Shotzi, banger of a match. Hardys versus the Good Brothers. And of course, you had the House of Glory tag. I forget their name. They got considered as the third, just to kind of save face for both teams so nobody had to take the pin. But them boys balled out in that match. That was crazy. Like, if you go back and watch it on YouTube, I'm pretty sure you'll see. Great match overall. A lot of great other matches on the card that were dope. Kuro, who I got to meet at House of Glory. Great introductory match into Hog as well. Dylan already beat me to it. Shayna versus Natty. Bloodsport top to bottom. Like, I love seeing Zack Sabre Jr. wrestle. Timothy Thatcher versus Charlie Dempsey. Banger. Go watch it if you can. Go watch it if you can. But Shayna and Natty, the hatred, you talking about telling the story in the ring where Shayna's like, yeah, like, this is in my world. What you gonna do? Like, she tried to give her the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like, hey, come meet me on the ground. Got her into the grabs, teased the sharpshooter, flipped her off. Natty got the upper hand, and Shayna said, hey, I'm just gonna blow this whole shit up, and just jumped on her team outside the ring. Great match. I don't know how they did main event, and I'm sad to hear that Bloodsport might not be anymore, but experiencing my first and possibly last, that got me hyped because it was great. Just beautiful violence top to bottom. I got to see Pete Dunne be Pete Dunne at Bloodsport, and he had a banger of a match too. So, like, if you can find the clips online, I recommend that because these indie shows knew they had the ball out. I got to see Jazz referee the Ladies Night World Championship match with Jasmine Allure, Izzy, as well as La Rosa Negra. Great three-way match. Jazz did her thing in the match as well. Jasmine retained. Thunder had a great main event. Steph DeLander had her first, not her first match back, but her first Mania weekend match in a while at Ladies Night too. A lot of great moments, and just being able to navigate and see all of these moments, see all this great women's wrestling, all these promotions who are, I don't want to say thriving on the backs of WrestleMania, but you know, this is how they really make a lot of runway. You know, beautiful to see. even seeing like how people show love to people at WrestleCon in a respectful way, because we had some people who weren't respectful, but seeing the lines and seeing people all, you know, help these wrestlers make a living was great. Like Shotzi's line, dope, like hella long, and seeing that for her was amazing. And I'm talking about comparative to like other Hall of Famers like Mick Foley, like Zilla always pulls a big line, but like seeing Shotzi have a line that was like wrapped around, I was like, yo, that's so cool for her. So happy for her.
Yeah, that's what I kept seeing, like social wise again, like being someone that's just here watching from the phone and the TV, like those were the things that were really like overshadowing wrestling feeds, was not just show itself, but like everyone else's shows. Like you said, like I kept seeing like Shotzi's like clips in the ladder match that she had. The same thing like with Hog, Fourth Rope, Bloodsport, even what it was, I think Karrion and Zilla had a match this week.
Right, Natural Born Killers, yeah.
Yeah, and like, but those were all the things that I was seeing in the forefront. Then you start to see WWE. So that's why I was even saying, like, you know, earlier, it seems like if you were there, your experience was fantastic, even if you didn't get to go to the show or shows. And then for yourself, you got to be on the floor. So it's like, hey, you rolled the dice. You got 3 cherries in a row. You hit the jackpot. You got to witness everything. But I like seeing that wrestling outside the big show got to come together and be able to really put on a spectacle, just like what everybody is supposed to be there for. Because I saw so many people, like influencers wise, having such a good time with each other. And like, you know, of course you had like your little small altercations, but I don't even really think it was between like content creators or anybody else. You just had weirdos and assholes, like the punk ass dude that pitched like Elena Black's booty. Like, you know, like what the fuck are you doing, bro? You're lucky you didn't get stomped out at WrestleCon. Like you like, and that's where we're all kind of starting to get anyway. It's like, you know, like we don't want to extract violence, but a lot of us understand what these people go through. A lot of us understand what they're doing here, and we ride for them. So it's like, yo, like he picked the wrong one at the right time, because had a group of us caught him doing that, we'd probably stomped him out. Like,
Same,
yo,
man.
it drug him out of there. Like,
and it makes it hard for the people who are like respectful of these people's time and like want to actually engage them in a kind manner and like just have a moment, you know, with somebody you're really a fan of. It makes it hard. Elena said she's not doing any more meet and greets as a result. And she has every right to do that, because like it's like they spend their money and time to come to those spaces and try to give back to fans. And it's like, it's not worth it when you're harassed.
And then too, stop trying to make a judgment on what you think is acceptable. Like, yo, just because that girl got an OnlyFans, don't give you no window to touch her when you feel like, or mistreat her in any type of inappropriate way and stuff like that. Like, yo, don't none of that, man. At the end of the day, that is a human being who you don't have no permission for to do any of this. And then also to the other folks, because I ain't get to call this out, and I'm calling this out because they tried to get my client with this. There ain't not a single wrestler that owe you a picture.
Yeah.
There ain't a single wrestler that owe you to sign you something, especially when they get paid to do it. Yep. So don't be trying to set up folks to be trying to say like, oh, you know, Oba was being mean and didn't want to sign this kid's like thing and stuff like that. First of all, Oba was running late, was trying to catch his own Uber to get to his spot. This isn't WWE. Hey, we've ordered you your car will be here. They have to get there on their own. They have to book their hotels and their flights on their own. So he's trying to make sure he gets where he needs to go. And then y'all saying that, oh, he did this to a kid that just wanted a signature. There wasn't no kid out there. It was all adults. There's a whole different shot of where O was walking. I was like, ain't a single kid out there. Stop thinking these people are obligated to do this. If you want a picture, go pay for it. You want a signature, go pay for it. If you love them that much, go pay for it. They
have it set up where you can pay the money for their time and they will take the snapshots with you, share a moment. At WrestleCon, they have their menus there where you can do that type of stuff. But like the people who do it like just on the fly, like when somebody's doing something or handling business, like it's just a way to be respectful about it, man.
That's it.
There's a way to be respectful and ask somebody in kindness. I actually had a moment where I had to catch myself at WrestleMania because I'm a big combat sports fan. If you guys know, I cover that too. One of my favorite UFC fighters is Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier walked right in front of me, and I reached out like I was going to touch him. And I said, ooh, don't do that. I said, ooh, because like I don't want to get body slammed. I don't want none of that. I was just so like, hey, I really love you, DC. Want to take a picture? So I waited till he came back around, and he stopped, took a flick, man. Just be respectful about it. And I almost did that to Bud too, because I was like, I'm a big fan of Bud, and I'm like, Bud with his kids. All right, and Bud kind of crazy.
And look how you conducted yourself when you said it though. He's with his kids. This is all you get. Because I remember, I think I saw Kevin Owens, and he was with his kid, and our eyes caught each other. I didn't try to go get no picture. This all Kevin Owens got. He knew what it was. I'm like, bro.
And the cool thing about it, when you make eye contact with somebody, even if you know them or you don't, like that's really all it takes. Like you don't know how many people like the male talent that I've seen this weekend. That's just cool. I just walked by Leo Rush a bunch of time. He always had not. What's up? And hey, what's up?
You just keep
hands with stuff like that. You keep it pushing. You know that feels better to me than like shooting the shit sometime or like having to ask for a picture because it's just simple acknowledgement. Like, yeah, I see you in this space. What's up? Cool.
It's just knowing your moments and where to pick them and stuff. Because sometimes you miss out on those things. I remember the thing you got me to go take the picture with Roxanne, like they had made it so awkward because again, that was around that time that stalker stuff happened. But they had made it so awkward where it's like, yo, like they told us like, oh, you can't put your hands on Roxanne, you can't touch this or nothing like that. And like I remember like Roxanne trying to like give me a high five and they like pushing us out the way and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of like, damn, man, like I fully understand where they're coming from with this. And so it's like, but it sucks because it's like, yo, like she is still trying to kind of acknowledge people, like, like with a certain way she'll hug folks or a certain way she'll give like a hand gesture and shit. But it's like, y'all done messed it up so much where it's like, yo, like, like for me, I'm like, yo, I don't even want nobody to look. Because again, if y'all seen the image between me and her, like that, I'm damn near her boyfriend height. Like, bro, like you see all of this and you just like, oh, hey, I'm in trouble now. Yeah. So it's like, yo, I was just rather like, now it kind of got awkward because she, that thing where you kind of don't know what kind of hug to go in for, or you doing this, and they doing it became that, and I'm like, man.
It's such like a fast process thing. When I know they do those things. I didn't know it was at WWE World though, but like seeing the line, like people color coded, like, hey, red B4, you're up, and it's like they go take a picture with Stone Cold. Like those lines were so long for that. And people like, if you really want your picture, that's the way to do it. Like people pay their money and they go there. But like to hear about all the backlash, and I wish TK could have spoke to this because she stayed at the same hotel. But hearing that people were just waiting by elevators all the time, and there was little security presence for these performers, like that sucks.
But that goes back to something that Becky Lynch called out when talking about them. Like you would think like this company protects them, and it's like it's really not. So it's like if the biggest company isn't doing the things that we thought is being done for a wrestler, you can only imagine a lower promotion. Like Becky has said it before, like we pay for our ring gear. They don't pay to have that stuff made. We pay for that. We book our own flights. We book our own travel. The only thing they do is tell us like, hey man, you on Monday night, so we need you here in Cleveland.
And that's why everything is like so familial, just because these people protect each other in those spaces. So like, see the clip of Punk clearly just being a husband. Like there should be nothing wrong with how people felt he responded. But we'll probably be talking about WrestleMania all week. There's so many other stories to share. Maybe TK can convince me to write something about my experience, because I didn't get to see all of Ladies Nights, but it was dope. And I got to see, I want to say like 6 matches, even though they told me it was about to end. They squeezed like 6 matches in. It was dope.
Yeah. I heard it was great. Like I didn't hear like, like you heard some of your politic things like TK said, but for the most part, it seemed like, yo, if you were out there, it was worth being out there this year, even if you didn't go to the show. Like it was totally worth being out there. But it's just like, hey, we just gotta continue to get like that. And so it kind of just like, I'm very curious what Saudi is going to look like with all of that, because I'm like,
TK speculated that a contingent could just make Vegas the destination spot if they're in Saudi again, because you do have so many avenues to actually watch the shows in comfort, like whether you're at a pool or whether you're at a watch bar. They have all those things. So it might be a thing where Vegas is de facto 3 years in a row.
If Mojo Rawley is smart, I'd do Slam Fest at the Palms again next year and let us watch it from Saudi Arabia. Like, I think that is one of the big things. Like, if not most of the world, but like if a lot of like these destination hotspots got like that, this would make it a lot easier for WWE to go to different spots out of the US. So like, if like, hey, we want to do WrestleMania in London, it's like, hey, you can go do that. And everybody's going to be fine here to go watch it. But it'll just be, I'm curious about the media coverage then. Because, again,
if Mr. Smart, we was at Revolution a few weeks ago, you just push it back another month. Or Dynasty, you push it back and be like, hey, we got that in Vegas at T-Mobile Arena.
Vegas, yeah. But I'd be curious to see, like, what's going to happen with next year, because I know a lot of content creators didn't get that media pass, and they paid their tickets to be there. So I'm like, man, you going to do that for Saudi too? And they're like, nah,
it's not. Possible. It ain't possible.
Lynette, absolutely. My client will receive gold around her waist soon. Always do not forget, my client has yet to challenge Stephanie for that world title, and she was owed a world title match. And they never ran it. So,
it's true. It'll play out.
Yeah. But it starts in 30 minutes, man. Mayor, did you have again, they haven't really given us anything too much Raw preview-wise. We know Oba will open the show. We know Roman Reigns is to be there, and we've already given our predictions out of what will happen and what matches we may think surface. But it goes down to 30 minutes. You might get a Mayor recap. But again, the mayor has at least put in 50,000 steps. So if you don't hear from him tonight, can we all be in agreement? We understand why.
Because the mayor, I might pull up tomorrow morning. You don't know. You just don't know. But tonight, I maybe. But I'm not gonna give you a watch along. You got your watch along with NXT a few weeks ago, and like that was your gift for 2026. That don't happen too often. But I will say this, as we close, and I did tap in with the homie Scoofius. If you see my artwork in the back end right here, Booker T, Bianca Belair, I think we will start having more boots on the ground in LA County area at Baby Bro's Pizza. Got some good feedback on that from him. And we might start doing some PLE watch alongs there so you come kick it with everybody from the WWE family. And I will shout out Scoofius again, because he actually gave me this fine piece right here of Charlie, a.k.a. Dakota Kai. And Charlie was kind enough to sign it for me. So we're adding this to the Hall of Fame.
If you ain't following them, check it out.
I think TK says she's been wanting to get a self-portrait done. So hold her to that, to get that made by Scoopies. But tap in with him for all your pop culture, movie, video game artwork, of course, and the wrestling artwork. Scoopies on IG.
Yes, indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap this episode up of WWT Live. We appreciate each and every one of y'all checking in. Like we said, Monday Night Raw, the Raw After Mania is starting in 30 minutes. So get your popcorn ready. Make sure you're good. And be sure to check out Kayfabe this Thursday, because we're going to talk a lot about this stuff, include Lynette Bianca Belair. We talked about her earlier, so you have to catch it Thursday. But we're going to be talking about that night one, night two. We got a lot to talk about Thursday. But tonight, go enjoy Raw. Allow the mayor to have his vacation and put an ice pack on those knees and those ankles.
Knees hurt.
And let him get some rest, man. But we will check back in with y'all later this week. We appreciate each and every one of y'all tapping in, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.